This is a palm-nut vulture, a bird that looks more like an eagle than the vulture most people imagine. But in 2026, scientists documented something remarkable. These vultures were hunting live prey in the open ocean. Flying low over the water, they would suddenly dive toward the surface and attempt to snatch prey with their talons. Researchers documented 8 hunting attempts, with about half ending successfully. The prey wasn't always identifiable, but some were thought to possibly be young ocean sunfish or sea turtles. What makes the discovery even more surprising is that palm-nut vultures are already unusual among vultures, feeding on a wide variety of foods including fruit, fish, crabs, and small vertebrates. Now the open ocean appears to be another hunting ground. For a bird normally associated with the African coastline and palm trees, repeatedly taking prey from the sea reveals just how flexible its survival strategy can be. And sometimes, nature hides a completely new behavior in a species we've been watching for years. But this discovery raises an even bigger question. How did these vultures become capable of fishing in the first place? The researchers observed 19 palm-nut vultures flying along the coast, and the birds weren't simply passing over the water. They repeatedly approached the sea, dove toward the surface, and returned carrying prey in their talons. In some cases, they carried their catch more than a kilometer over the ocean before disappearing from view, possibly taking the food back toward their nests. That means this may be more than a strange new trick. It could reveal that fish are a much more important part of the palm-nut vulture's diet than scientists previously realized. And that's what makes this discovery so exciting. Sometimes, we don't discover a new animal. We discover a completely unexpected side of an animal we thought we already understood. Hidden among the moss is a tiny predator with a weapon unlike an ordinary praying mantis. As its prey comes closer, the mantis quietly loads its specialized forelegs. Then, in roughly 1.5 milliseconds, those forelegs fire forward like tiny spears, far too fast for our eyes to follow. But the real secret isn't simply powerful muscles. The mantis stores elastic energy inside its body and holds that energy with a tiny latch. When the latch releases, the stored energy becomes an explosive movement. Scientists studying this remarkable mechanism found that the strike can reach several meters per second, producing extraordinary power for such a tiny animal. Unlike the familiar grabbing motion of most mantises, this species uses a ballistic, impaling strike. What looks like a simple insect attack is actually an incredibly sophisticated biological spring, built entirely from the animal's own body. Scientists were able to see what was happening by combining high-speed video with detailed scans of the mantis's body. The scans revealed a tiny mechanical system hidden inside its foreleg. As the mantis prepares to strike, part of its hard outer skeleton actually bends and stores elastic energy. A latch-like structure holds that energy in place. Then, at exactly the right moment, the latch releases. The stored energy suddenly unloads, accelerating the spear-like foreleg to around 5 meters per second. The result is a strike that produces far more power than the muscles could create by themselves. In other words, this tiny predator doesn't win by using bigger muscles. It wins by turning its body into a biological catapult. Along a remote coastline, a wolf approaches something floating in the water. At first, it looks like an ordinary object, but beneath the surface is a crab trap connected to a rope. The wolf grabs the line and begins pulling. Slowly, the hidden trap moves toward shore. But why is the wolf doing this? Inside the trap is bait, and the wolf has discovered that pulling the rope can bring the food closer. Once the trap reaches the shoreline, the wolf investigates it carefully, trying to figure out how to reach what's inside. Then it succeeds. But this raises a fascinating question. Is the wolf simply reacting to food? Or has it learned a sequence of actions that allows it to manipulate an object it cannot see? The wolf isn't just finding food. It is using something in its environment to make that food accessible. And that simple behavior opens a much bigger question about animal intelligence and problem solving. On the ocean floor, this octopus finds something most animals would simply ignore: 2 empty coconut shells. But instead of leaving them behind, it picks them up and carries them across the sea floor. Why? Because these shells can become a portable shelter. When danger approaches, the octopus can pull the shells around its soft body and disappear inside. It can even move across the sea floor using 2 arms while carrying its shelter with the others. A bizarre form of underwater walking. But carrying a shelter comes with a cost. It makes the octopus easier to notice. When a predator discovers the shells and attacks, the octopus is suddenly exposed. It has only moments to escape. Using its powerful arms and rapid movement, it disappears into the reef and leaves the predator behind. For an animal with no hard shell of its own, carrying discarded shells is more than clever. It is a portable solution to one of the biggest problems of being a soft-bodied animal: staying alive. If you enjoyed discovering the hidden science behind these incredible animals, subscribe. We have many more unbelievable behaviors to uncover.